If you've ever watched any cryptocurrency video, you'll notice the creators of the video say, "This is not financial advice, always do your own research." Like it's some magical spell that protects them from getting sued, but technically offers you no credible information. What does doing your own research really mean? What does it actually look like? Is it difficult? I'm going to be answering all of these soon, but first, welcome to Whiteboard Crypto, the #1 YouTube channel for crypto education, and here we explain topics of the cryptocurrency world using analogies, stories, and examples so that even your grandpa can understand them. In this video, I'm going to be explaining what doing your own research really means, and most importantly, how to actually do it. Now, before we get too much into the important stuff, I want to introduce to you an analogy that will help you understand the types of research that people do. You know how if you want to lose weight, there are a lot of factors that play into your success, right? Some people say that you simply just need to get more exercise. Others say it's the type of exercise that you do, whether that be weightlifting or cardio. Others say the only thing that truly matters is your diet. In reality, it's probably a collection of the amount of exercise you get, the type of exercise you get, your diet, your sleep cycle, your emotional life, which affects your hormones, and even your motivation for trying to lose weight, which will keep you going on the days that you don't feel like continuing. My point is that when it comes to losing weight, a lot of factors are important and probably responsible for your results. Well, the same is true in making a profitable investment. In basic research, there are 3 types of analysis we can do, and many people claim that only one matters, but I have a feeling that you're going to agree with me that they all matter some. First off is technical analysis. Now, technical analysis is the study of a past price of an asset, and we'll get to this a little bit at the end of the video, but it's mostly looking at charts and making educated guesses based on how other people will make their educated guesses, which then produce certain patterns. Again, you can't really make a great decision by only looking at charts, but they can definitely be helpful. The second type of analysis is called sentimental analysis. Now, sentimental analysis sounds really complicated, but it's basically the study of what everyone is feeling about a stock or a crypto. We can't really measure what people are feeling directly, but what we can do is look at the words that they use on the internet. You can sum this up by asking, what is the market saying? Or even, what are crypto influencers saying about a project? Now, there are lots of advanced tools out there that look at conversations and news articles all around the web, compile them together, and then come up with something called a sentiment score that tells you if people are saying good things or bad things about the project. But again, this can kind of be easily manipulated, usually isn't long-term in nature, and is kind of difficult to analyze. The third type of research is called fundamental analysis, and this is the study of the actual ideas, the team, and the progress of a specific project. This is what we will focus on in this video. Since many people think technical analysis is bogus, many people don't have the knowledge to perform sentimental analysis, but anyone can do fundamental analysis fairly easily. Hopefully, if you get one thing out of this video, you realize the world is not black or white. It's not exercise or diets. It's not technical analysis or fundamental analysis. But instead, the world is a multivariable environment where patterns may emerge among all of these areas that if you study it enough, you might be able to take advantage of it. If you like this little analogy, you're going to love the rest of this video, so go ahead and click that like button to give me, and more importantly, our team, a personal thank you. Oh, and none of the stuff in this video is investment advice, but more of me describing what I do to perform research and things that you may have not have already thought of to look into. Moving forward with this video, the next thing I want to share with you is the goal of research. So the goal of research is to try to make an investment look bad. Now this might seem counterintuitive, but humans are very biased. Anyone can make an investment look good. It takes a lot more effort to make an investment look bad, and that's exactly what we want to do. The goal of making an investment should be to make the project look bad. Now, like I said, any project can look good, especially if it contains a new and unique idea. That's what marketing is. But if you try really hard to convince yourself that it's a bad project and you're not convinced, then it might be a profitable decision. Next, after establishing the simple goal of trying to convince yourself not to invest, the next question you should focus on in terms of making a profitable investment is asking yourself, how many other people are going to buy this coin or token? See, coins and tokens are essentially securities. Most of these projects do not have profit-generating mechanisms, meaning that most will only be profitable if other people buy the coin or token. Ask yourself, can I see 1 million other people finding out about this coin and then buying it too? And if the answer is yes, you're probably staring at a very profitable project. Now, we can get into the specific actions that fall under the research category. Just like to get those six-pack abs, you need to eat well and put in hours at the gym. If you want to consistently make good investment decisions, you'll need to put in the time and work of doing research. First up is tokenomics. Now, tokenomics is a fancy word for saying economics of an asset. For early coins, there isn't much long-term data, so the initial tokenomics is a great source of information. Many times you can view the tokenomics on a project's website or their white paper. And I actually have a video coming up soon on how to actually read a white paper, so click the subscribe button if you aren't already. The first thing to find out about a coin is if it is inflationary or deflationary. Inflationary simply means that the coin will continue to be created. Inflationary assets usually decrease in price as time goes on if nobody else continues buying. So unless there is a reason to keep buying, the price will go down. For example, the US dollar is inflationary. They keep printing more dollars, and every year it's worth less, meaning it takes more and more dollars to buy the same thing. The opposite of this is deflationary, and this means that the coin will actually start to be destroyed. Deflationary assets usually increase in price, assuming no other changes in the market, because as time moves on, there are less tokens to buy, so if the demand stays the same, the price will increase. First generation Pokemon cards fall under this category. Now, some tokens are actually a mix of these. For example, Bitcoin is actually inflationary right now because miners will keep mining more coins. One day though, there won't be any more coins to mint, and when that happens, it'll stop being inflationary. Now we can reasonably assume that since some people will lose their keys, forget their private keys, or send their Bitcoins to an address that nobody can access, eventually, Bitcoin will become deflationary. Also, a quick note on something called farm tokens. They are special tokens that are given to an investor of a yield farm. To incentivize users to invest in their tokens, a developer will simply create a new token, give it some arbitrary value, and then create even more of these tokens, making them highly inflationary to give back to early investors. You can watch our video on degen yield farms to spot these highly speculative, almost scam opportunities. Another important thing is to find out the pre-sale data. Some tokens are sold to private investors, others are given out to early users, and some are mined by a closed group set of miners. Basically, what you need to do is find out how does the token initially get out to the public. Each of these launch mechanisms affect the overall tokenomics. Many tokens are given to their users through something called an airdrop. Now, airdrops are interesting because depending on the project and the long-term vision, they could be good or bad. For example, Uniswap was an airdrop. People who received that airdrop and didn't sell now have over $10,000 worth of Uniswap tokens. Another airdrop was the Good Bridging token that was given to people who used the Ethereum to Avalanche blockchain bridge. Now, this token doesn't really have a utility, and a lot of people who got it weren't even sure what it was. I personally received this airdrop and sold it for over $1,000. Another airdrop was Ethereum name service. Now this airdrop was worth anywhere from $2,000 to $20,000 depending on your interaction with the platform. After 2 days, the price went from $25 to $80 and then fell to around $60 for a while. Now like I mentioned in the beginning, there are many other ways to release a coin, including an ICO, a pre-mine, a pre-sale, and even more newer algorithmic ways to offer coins to the public. But it's time for us to move on now. The next important thing you should be looking at is the team, because the team behind a project is very important. Let me give you a simple humble brag to explain. Around 5 years ago, I started a YouTube channel called Practical Psychology. It now has over 2 million YouTube subscribers and is in most senses successful. In fact, in the past year, I have hardly created any new videos on that channel, and it has earned me about as much money as an average college graduate. In the past 10 months, though, I've been creating this second channel called Whiteboard Crypto, and I've got it to around 500,000 subscribers much quicker. And it should be said that this channel is actually 10 times more profitable because I have experience monetizing a YouTube channel. For example, I know what will take the least amount of work that will lead to the most amount of revenue. Regarding this, back to doing your own research, in the future, do you think my next channel will be as successful? Do you think I'll take all the things I've learned from creating these two channels and carry them with me? What about the people that I've met creating creating this channel. I mean, heck, in the last month, I've had around 10 phone calls with multi-millionaires, talked to multiple people who have had connections with billionaires, and even talked with developers who have created applications used by millions of people. I didn't have any of those resources this time last year, and those were people who wanted to talk to me, which is honestly mind-blowing. I say all of this to share one point with you. The people behind a project are very important. Do your research on them and make sure you trust them with your money. When it comes to this channel, I know how to write engaging, genuine, and educational scripts. Our animator is world-class in making these videos fun to watch, and the artist that I found for thumbnails and other image assets is very talented. Again, I'll wrap this up. The team is very important. Another thing to check in your research is social media. Now, one good signal of a coin increasing in price are the content creators on the internet mentioning it. A golden goose that I've recently found is if the content creator specializes in only one project. For example, I've talked to Austin from Phantom Alerts, and he has a YouTube channel and Twitter account specifically for the Phantom blockchain. Although he's not directly sponsored by the chain, he does hold a decent amount and continues to create content to bring on new users. Another example is Taiki, who has a considerable amount of Twitter and YouTube followers, and whenever he makes a recommendation, he knows that some of his followers out there will go all in due to his past great calls. This means his reputation is on the line, so he's not going to be promoting a pump and dump, even if he claims that it's not financial advice. Again, seeing niche content creators is a very good sign, especially if they're creating lots of content. The Shiba Inu token is another example with an unofficial YouTube account that posts videos almost daily. If someone spends their time and energy to bring new people into a coin by creating content, it doesn't necessarily mean the coin is a good project fundamentally, but it does mean a community might form or that they might lead new investors to the project, which may or may not be good, but definitely is an important piece of information knowing as a potential investor. The next thing I want to teach you is to ask this most important question: what problem are they solving? Even better, how are they going to use your money to solve that problem? In the case of Bitcoin, it simply solves inflation. Now, people ask me all the time, why Bitcoin? And why not some other ERC20 token or a fork of Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin was the first. When I talk about cryptocurrencies to anyone, 90% of them have heard about Bitcoin, and that is why it may be the best solution for inflation, even if other coins can solve it. It's just the most well-known. To use another example, Ethereum solves the problem of expensive and slow banks. Ethereum actually solves many different problems, but the existence of banks seems to be the main one. You can't be over-leveraged with Ethereum. You also can't be in the hole, or basically have a negative account balance. With Ethereum, you can send money very quickly, and it may not be that cheap right now, but if you're moving anything over 7 figures, it's considerably cheaper than a bank. Also, nobody asks you questions about you moving money. You can do it anonymously and privately. Ethereum solves a lot of different problems, and it's similar to Bitcoin in the fact that it's kind of the first of its kind and a well-known project. One more example, Chainlink gives blockchains off-chain information. With the growing space of blockchain technology, developers are really struggling with getting real-world data onto the blockchain in a reliable and trustless manner. Chainlink seems to offer a solution to that. Now, in the grand scheme of things, take a step back and ask yourself, what problem is a project solving? Even Olympus DAO, which is something I personally think is quite overvalued, solves a specific problem of a digital reserve currency and also a protocol-owned liquidity. Wrapping this up, there are some problems out there you may not be aware of, or others you may not even understand. I will never invest in a coin or a token until I understand the problem that it is solving, if it's trying to solve any. Another great source of fundamental analysis is simply to read the project's white paper. Now, a white paper is an official paper where the developers describe a problem that they want to solve, how they want to solve it, and why they are going to do it. For most people, white papers are usually pretty complicated, but I honestly believe anyone can read Bitcoin's white paper. Moving on, let's get into another big question of where does it deserve to be? I like to think of this as its deserving factor. So does Polkadot really deserve to be the #1 cryptocurrency? Does Bitcoin deserve to be number 92? By thinking about this in generalities, we can more accurately make a prediction where a coin might be by our previous knowledge of it. Avalanche might not deserve to be coin #1, but I don't think it should be number 1,000 either. So maybe 20 to 30 is a fair guess. Using these guesses, we can then divide the market cap by the total distribution of coins to get a fair idea of a fair price. Again, this is just another mental model that I use to help with my investment decisions. I'm going to say one more time, this video is not financial advice, but you may find it helpful in doing your own research. I do want to share with you, I've actually created an entire PDF full of more technical things that I do to perform research on a coin or token. Things like checking whale wallets, which is a pretty obvious thing to check, but developers have found a way to get around it so that lazy researchers don't see what they did. There's an advanced way that you can check whale wallets by using the blockchain for developer wallets, but it's a lot more technical and takes a lot more time. There's other things in the PDF like checking liquidity, including a special kind called locked liquidity, which is way more important than market cap for cryptocurrencies, and even other hidden signals that I found to be super helpful, like how I mentioned specific content creators of a project are a really good sign that the price will increase. The research PDF is actually a bonus to anyone who enrolls in Whiteboard Crypto Club, the most affordable DeFi membership that me and my team are creating. Also, when you're in the club, you actually get instant access to a community, so if for some reason you don't want to do your own research, you can politely ask, and I'd love to do some preliminary research on a project for you. If anything, it helps me improve my own research skill, and it might help out some of the other members. Another thing to reel you in is that all new members are sent $20 of Ethereum, and the main meat and potatoes of the membership are tons of DeFi tutorials on how to use certain protocols, but I've already shared too much. If you want to learn more, you'll have to check out the official Whiteboard Crypto Club enrollment page in the link below before the end of the month. We're doing some things with NFTs too, and the deadline is the end of the month. Anyways, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope that maybe you've learned something, and most of all, I hope to see you in our next video.